It's an institution that was set up by Bertrand Russell in 1917, and usually we have talks without music. And you know the philosophers who come along, like the philosophy students, Queen War philosophers, their favourite bit is always to ask questions. You can't do an RIP talk without asking questions. RIP for Royal Institute of Philosophy, not rest in peace. So, this is where we're going to learn to ask questions. But, to be fair to the jazz fans here, okay, you can also ask any question you want about the music of Thelonious Monk. And you don't have to put it to me, you can put it to any member of the band. So I think this would be a good time to introduce the band. We have on the trumpet the amazing Ray Butcher! Ray Butcher! On the bass, all the way from Porto, in northern Portugal, we have Fino Lopes! Fino Lopes! And one of Britain's most in-demand drummers. Seriously, he has 7 gigs this week. On drums, Lee Alexson! You see, in all this year, I've got quality from the British jazz scene you've got. I'm just an old philosophy professor, right? These guys are the cream. Okay, so, here we go. This is your chance. So, for the philosophers, right, here's the philosophy. The rest of you can ask a question about Thelonious Monk. Okay, to any of them, to Ray, to Fino, or to Lee. Now, the tune is called Off Minor, and I've related that to my view, a view that I defend, which is called neutral nihilism. Okay, neutral nihilism. So, nihilism is a view which is opposed to the traditional view that there's a meaning of life, that there's an overall cosmic purpose to reality, that human beings were made in order to do something. There's some kind of direction, some overall purpose to human life. Okay? Nihilists don't think that that's true. Now, the traditional interpretation of nihilism is known as negative nihilism, or at least that's what I call it. The idea that this is terrible, that if there's no meaning of life, this is a very bad thing. Okay? So that's negative nihilism. A new view, which is very popular among younger generations, and I know for a fact there are many representatives of this view in this room, is called sunny nihilism. So a lot of young people think that nihilism's great. They say, hey, I don't want one of these boring old meanings of life, which is like stopping me from doing things. I want to be able to do whatever I want to do. So that's the popular version called sunny nihilism, led by a lady called Wendy Seifert. Okay? My position, which I defended with my co-author Tracy Manera, who's a Filipino philosopher, and has recently been defended by a Nigerian philosopher called Aribia Atto, and those are the only 3 people I know, me, Tracy, and Aribia, who have defended this view, is that nihilism is true, but it's just a neutral fact. It's neither good nor bad. It's kind of like the fact life evolved on Earth. Yeah, you know? You could care about that if you wanted to, but it's just neutral. Okay? So that's the view. So, put your hands up if you'd like to ask me anything about neutral nihilism, or anybody in the band, anything about the music of Thelonious Monk. Yes, over there.
Thelonious Monk's favorite time signature.
Lee. Monk's favourite time signature.
Monk's favourite time signature. I couldn't possibly say that what he uses the most would be 4 o'clock.
Okay. There you go. Don't tell me you don't get definite answers at an RIP talk, right? Over there.
Okay, in Jazz on Summer's Day, the guy who introduced Monk's set said that Monk's, one of his techniques was to play 2 notes together to imply the note in between. Do you agree with that?
Yes, I do. You can hear it. He hits them both, and then you can hear he peels the one note off and takes the sustain off. And in fact, my friend, who I usually play with on piano, Steve Tromans, he can do that. He can show you, he can demonstrate it if he was here. So you'll have to get us back, and we'll get Steve next time. Over there.
What is the difference between neutral nihilism and existentialism?
Well, neutral nihilism fits in with existentialism, but to be an existentialist, you're going to have to be a nihilist, and all the real ones who've ever existed, to my knowledge, have been negative, but maybe they just didn't think of the neutral option. I don't think they could see it as particularly sunny, but nihilism would be a commitment to an existentialist, yeah, except if you were a Christian existentialist. That's slightly different. That's the original version, like Kierkegaard, for instance. Yes?
What brought this specific band together?
I had my theory about the meaning of the name Epistrophe, and I heard Ray was around and I wanted to play with him. See, honest 100% answers. Any more? One last question.
You were talking earlier about the fact that perhaps when we were born, or even before that, we were destined to be here tonight. Do you feel there's anything behind that? I've heard sometimes the word logos used. There is something that permeates the whole of existence, but according to God, if you wanted here in the chapter, was, is, and never will be.
Me personally, I have argued, this is what I argue in my books, I say no, there isn't any meaning of life, any cosmic direction, and also I even argued in the song that determinism is false. I don't think you were all determined to be here from the moment you were born. I think that's a kind of superstition, which actually, interestingly, if you're interested in this view, if you look at my book, Gods and Titans, I show how it evolved from belief in astrology. I think it literally is a kind of superstition. Right, that's enough of that then. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3.